Wildcats in the home whites with purple numbers and letters. The visiting Seawolves in the red jerseys, blue numbers, and white letters. Whistle up, and we are underway from Ryan Fieldhouse. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're excited to be here. Looking at some of the starters now. La Liberty back in the cage with Kuykendall, Berkery, and Hansen. Alongside Monte Smith, White, and Halpern. So, you know, business as usual, it seems, for that starting lineup for Northwestern, as well as Taylor, Skane, Mahoney, and Radigan. But Radigan get a lot more playing time recently.
Yeah, that's the one note. Haley Radigan got her first starts and her first playing time as a Wildcat last week. The highly touted recruit had not played much, but with Skane out, she got that opportunity to excel. Now starting in the same lineup as Skane for the first time in her career.
Yeah, the Mercer transfer, and that's a goal. Stony Brook starts things off 44 seconds into the contest. We hadn't even talked about Macera and the starters for Stony Brook, and just like that, Morgan Mitchell finds the back of the net. 1-0 quick score for Stony Brook. Nice pull back on the draw, ground ball. Who's going to be picked up by? Mitchell, first goal today, 9th of the season. And so Northwestern comes away with possession. Usually that's what Northwestern does. Oh, we'll just score quick. Different here this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Stony Brook taking the Wildcats' own playbook and using it against them.
Wide setup offensively. Kuykendall goes to the left side. Looks point blank, taken away by Duchnowski.
Skane was looking for Taylor. The double came quick from Stony Brook like it has for every other team this year, and Taylor was running free in the middle, but quick sticks by the defense of the Seawolves broke that pass up before it could get to her.
Northwestern with a tough ride. Whistle stays with the Seawolves. Pushing far sideline. We continue on. 70 on the shot clock. Seawolves go back to X. Looking on the near side. Top of the key is Verhulst. She is doing a fine job this evening, really setting up the attack for Stony Brook. That last one was such quick fire, we didn't really see the offensive output, but it looks like a man coverage right now for Northwestern. Verhulst thought about it. Continue to swing, swing, swing. Let's see if anybody makes a run. There is a quick switch right there. Back up top for Macera. Less than 30 on the shot clock. Good man defense right now for the Wildcats, not allowing any lanes. Cats haven't had to slide yet. From the fan, we're under 20 seconds now. Stony Brook seems just fine, taking as much time as needed. Hits the pipe and ricochets away. Good defensive possession, I guess you could say, or good defensive stand by the Wildcats.
Northwestern used a lot of zone defense early this year, especially against BC and Syracuse. They backed off that late in the game against BC. It worked very well, and they're going to it early in their next game against a highly touted opponent in Stony Brook. For that possession, at least, looked great, like you said, Peter. And a much better clear, that one as well.
So Dylan Monte, who has had a great year for all intents and purposes. Oh, quick pass inside, goal. Finding the back is Izzy Skane. Questionable to play, but why not right off the bat getting the first goal for the Cats?
We schooled a little bit less of a lacrosse history. Take a little time to get accustomed to this place. Even though she had a great career at Mercer, took her a little bit of time to work her way into the lineup here. And, you know, when you're in your first year at a program, it takes some growing pains sometimes. And it seems like she's found it now where she wants to be. 5 goals her last time out.
Well, the fun thing about, wow, just like that, we didn't even finish our sentence, and Stony Brook answers right back. Outstanding job by who else? Ellie Macera. Well, and what I really appreciated about that goal that she just scored, it was from the hip. It was no wasted motion as she picks up off to the draw control yet again. So Stony Brook possession. Both their goals on quick firing shots. The one time that they've had a long possession went the way of the Wildcats.
Yeah, and those draw control stats, Peter, usually when you see individual draw control stats, you're not correlating that to immediate offense.
Yeah.
But she's had back-to-back draw controls, and she's taken both of them right on in. That time Northwestern devoted more manpower to slowing her down, but, I mean, she is a one-woman wrecking crew right off the draw. She's not going to waste any time.
Taking the top of the key is McQuarrie. Side hip, that one goes out of play, but right back at the net at X were the Seawolves. Looking for the outlet pass, finds it. Very wide setup. A good 5 yards outside of the arc is the Stony Brook squad. So not afraid to find their lane. Massera looked for it there, wasn't there. Dodging inside, takes the shot, and I believe that hit, it did. Possible shoulder blade attack.
Dangerous propulsion is the call there,
yeah.
Peter, and it's going to be a yellow for Stony Brook. Yeah, that's a whistle against Stony Brook. You can see the stick follow through from that angle, and the yellow card goes on the Seawolves. Couldn't quite tell who the shooter was there. Still looking for it, but a yellow card against Stony Brook nevertheless.
We'll see who it is. I believe.
Yeah, they gave it to Kaylin Hart there, their leader in assists and second leader in points this year. Senior out of North Babylon, Long Island. And yeah, you can see just a follow through, a little bit too much extension there. You got to be careful on those sidearm type shots, Peter, because when you wind it sideways, it's really easy to let that stick get carried away from you, almost like a baseball swing, and just follow through too much on it. And yeah, that's an automatic yellow card offense, so you can't call that foul without giving a yellow.
Long stretch pass for the Wildcats. Let's see what they could do. A player up. Looking to the near side. Kuykendall calling for it. Running in with Sam Smith. Kuykendall now. Back to, ricochets off the near side pipe and goes high and out of play. Amante wanted it. She's calling for it yet again. Kuykendall thought about it. Back to Amante, challenged hard, falls to a knee. That is going to be a whistle, and she'll get a free position.
Yeah, Kuykendall, shooting space queen when she really wants it, and she takes it that time. Do not be surprised to see her look to skate. They're going to run a little bit of a game with her and Amante up here at the top as Kuykendall comes in.
So Kuykendall at the floating hash. There's the pass. There's the point blank goal. Bang! Northwestern ties it at 2. Verhulsten once again.
And Demuno for the Wildcats. Demuno got the better of her on that one. Big draw win.
Out of St. Viator in Barrington, Illinois. About 45 minutes west of here. So we sit at 2s. Thank you for joining us from Ryan Fieldhouse. For Noah Kaufman, I'm Peter Ferreri. Always a pleasure to bring Big Ten lacrosse to you as Monte swings it to the left side. A lot of motion right now for Northwestern. They have some openings. Nice pressure defense by the Seawolves. They're really meeting Northwestern outside of the arc.
It's the type of defense Northwestern hasn't seen a ton of this year. A lot more pressure heavy than most of the opponents they've faced.
Well, something Coach Spallini said, excuse me, was that they're not afraid to switch up defensive early and often, but a little too late on that one. Izzy Skane out of Clarkston, Michigan. Another one, 3-2 cap.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
A lot of years pass, and I know you've been with this program for quite a while, or I should say calling Big Ten lacrosse for quite a while. When they had the shortened season because of COVID, it was only Big Ten play. There was no non-conference games that were played, and some people thought it was a hindrance, but it also kind of pushed all the Big Ten teams to kind of show, okay, we need to improve as a conference, and they're doing that now. So they have a very, very strong strength of schedule non-conference, and that's just going to get this Wildcats team ready for conference play.
Yeah, absolutely. Northwestern, in fact, as they did last year, is in the top 5, of course, number 3, and they play all 4 other top 5 teams in non-conference play.
Yeah.
That's not even counting Maryland, who's sitting in number 6 right now in conference play. They are matching up with every elite team in the country. There's nobody that Kelly Amante Hiller is hiding from, right? She's going to lay it all out there. That matchup with North Carolina coming up next week is going to be a big one, of course. So that helps so much prepare for conference play, as we see Izzy Skane call for the charge right there. And when you're a team like Northwestern who knows that if they're good enough, they're going to get into the tournament, you can do that. You can schedule a little bit more aggressively.
As we see the replay.
Oh, man.
Another close call, we'll say. Ella Whitehouse out of St. James, Long Island.
The only contact that Skane made with Whitehouse was on her arm. I don't see how that can be a charge on Skane. And the official with a tough angle of it from up top called the charge. I don't like it, Peter. I don't like the call. Should be a block, in my opinion.
I think right now they're just keeping in mind the speed of the game. And I guess we're being cautionary. So
wow, they just swallowed the whistle on that little exchange too.
Yes, they did. How about this? They're in this possession. They're letting them play.
Yeah. And Northwestern makes the most of it. So, you know, the call doesn't end up really mattering all that much. Northwestern gets it right back.
And Kuykendall comes in and immediately gets the high pass, but able to get the stick on it. 70 seconds and change remaining on the shot clock. Kuykendall to the left side looking for Skane. Skane looks for the crossing pass, able to find a teammate who's dodging underneath and has contact up high and not happy about it. So Radigan will head to the hash. And then we were talking about Radigan. You want to talk about another player with, you know, athleticism in her veins. Her brother Dylan, lacrosse at UMass. Her brother Kyle, lacrosse at Limestone. Dad, lacrosse at Pfeiffer.
Now, none of that stopped her from false starting just then, but still, it's an impressive lineage to be sure for the Radigan clan.
Had offers to transfer from UNC and Florida. Pick the Cats.
Yeah, just like Molly La Liberty had that offer from UNC. Both players picked Northwestern. Of course, Northwestern offers some stuff off the field as well that could be of use to a potential graduate transfer. I
will be intrigued to see after the season, you know, if both these players graduate on, you know, what was the decision? Because you see UNC time in and time out, season in and season out, year in and year out, national championship or contender. As is Northwestern, but again, UNC's had everybody's number, especially with the undefeated season last year.
Absolutely, and you know, they had a little bit of a slower start to the season in terms of margin of victory this year, but then just ran through Boston College the other day by 11 goals. They look like they're right back to the old UNC.
And that's going to be saved, I believe, by La Liberty as she's challenged from behind. Has it swatted down? Somebody's got to get in front of the net. Push from behind, and you know, and that's not the worst call because you did not have La Liberty in goal. So
yeah, it's going to be a yellow, though, is what it looked like to me coming out there. Now, La Liberty makes an initial great save. She's got to get rid of that ball a little bit quicker, Peter. She's outside of her circle. You got to make a pass earlier than that, and then that's absolutely a clean takeaway from Ellie Macera, and that foul from behind, a harsh one to be sure by Berkery.
Yeah.
Deserving of the yellow card if she was indeed awarded one, and it looks like, she was.
Yeah, it's not often you say that's a good foul, but at least that's a, you know, intelligent one, because otherwise that would have easily netted a goal.
Would have liked to see a little bit less aggression on it, though. A little farther away from the head. Maybe wouldn't have netted the Wildcats' second yellow of the game. Now, on their first yellow, they ended it 1-0 up, so, you know, maybe it's not the worst thing.
But they did quickly get possession on that last yellow. Stony Brook looking to hold on, looking for a good shot. Again, things have been pretty quiet since their 2-1 lead. And there is the goal to bring them back to within 2. Good job by Stony Brook and the Seawolves to make it 5-3. So 90 seconds. So the flip happened on that yellow as the advantage with the player up for Stony Brook yielded a goal.
And a big draw control win by the Wolves right here, trying to fight back. You know, when Northwestern went on that 4-goal run to take the 3-0 lead, it felt like they were ready to take over this game completely. But now Stony Brook's defense has stiffened up a bit, a couple draw control wins, and they're looking to be in much better shape, for the moment at least.
So shot clock has stopped. 35 seconds for Stony Brook to try to get within 1. Keep your eye on Macera. She's off to the left. She now has that possession. Likely to see at about that 20-second mark, they start to make their move. Back to the top. There it is in Macera's hand. She does the pass. Goes back to the left side of the arc. Making a run. Good defense. Somebody's going to have to take a shot for the Stony Brook squad. looking for the outlet. It's not there. It hits the ground with 2, with 1. And just like that, outstanding defensive possession for the Wildcats, Noah.
And when they can get Northwestern out of their system and out of their comfort zone defensively, they can start to create turnovers and make some things happen.
As you see on the score bug, 8 shots, 5 of them finding the back of the net for Northwestern. Stony Brook at a 50% or 500, 3 for 6. But again, that final possession for Stony Brook, let's see if that comes back to haunt them at all, because you had all the time in the world. Not to discredit Northwestern's defense, but Stony Brook just couldn't even get a shot off from long range.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. It was not the cleanest looking offensive possession. And Stony Brook, when the ball hasn't been in the cross of Ellie Macera, has looked shaky on offense so far in this one. Some room to grow for sure in that area.
Well, and there's still a lot of lacrosse left to be played. They haven't even hit conference play yet. Here's Macera now. Does the pass off, 35 on the shot clock. Back to X. Immediately handing it off, trying to set the screen. Good defense again by the Cats. Nice slide from the top of the 8-meter. 25 seconds, Macera looks for the screen. She might take it herself. She does. Kick save and a beauty for La Liberty.
Great job by La Liberty. That looked like it was ticketed for the back of the net for Ellie Macera. The Wildcats have got to rotate a little bit quicker defensively. Hannah Gillespie is just not quick enough to stay with her one-on-one. You have to be ready to help coming the other way. Whistle there goes against Kendall Halpern. A little bit too aggressive defensively.
Two top 5 teams anxiously waiting for this game to continue. It does on the left side. Back to Macera. She tries to take it herself and has a Wildcat completely on top of her. No whistle called, so resetting now with 35 seconds. So Stony Brook really dominating time of possession here in the second quarter. Nice spin. Ooh, just loses possession. Ground ball picked up by the Cats. Tough ride right off the bat, and a whistle is going to be called against Stony Brook.
It was the first real drive we've seen from Jaden Hampel. She looked like she had the angle coming in, but Northwestern's defense collapsed quickly enough to force that ball away from her. Meanwhile, Sam White picked up Macera for the back half of that possession and did a great job, and now clears successfully as well for Northwestern. Yes.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Of the 8-meter, Northwestern going to play a player up. So twofold. One, do they take a quick shot, or do they just retreat back to try to formulate a different attempt while taking away time of possession? That's exactly what happens.
Taylor usually going to go in on that one, just given her pure speed. Right now, Dugnowski's looking up to the task against these free position looks, so certainly hard to hate the pass out, especially when it gets Skane to look like this off the free position arc.
So Skane will line up. Has to be so intimidating to know that you have one of the best scorers in the nation for the past few seasons lining up against you. But Dugnowski, out of a transfer from LIU and Miller Place, has done an outstanding job thwarting those attempts. But the sliding goal in the 5-hole Northwestern zone, Sam Smith. You know, as I spoke about, I did have a conversation with Coach Valnachos, and I did ask about one of the prior games where there was a stick check on one of the Wildcats after a draw, and they said it was the netting had stretched a bit, and so it was a situation where they had to switch out sticks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that can happen when the netting depresses a little too much or becomes a little bit too firm up top. And yeah, you got to be always paying such close attention to your equipment. The stick checks may not be, it may be a little bit harder for a coach to call for the stick checks, but those post-goal stick checks are going to come no matter what.
Well, and as you know, it's a situation where they use specialty sticks just for the draw. So if that's not something that's tended to when you get to the final moments of the game, absolutely you can see that happening. So Stony Brook hasn't had a problem with taking a lot of time off their given shot clocks on each possession. However, it seems the longer they wait to take the shot, the less success they've had so far.
Yeah, these looks, I mean, really, regardless of time, have not been good unless it's one player. And that one was a little bit of a better look from another angle, but still couldn't find anything but the post. And the initial call there was that it was going to stay with Stony Brook. The initial call
I saw
was that McClay had beaten Bolig to the ball, but Bolig gets the point on the re-whistle.
So White looking for the outlet pass inside, too high. And I believe whistle's going to go against Mahoney.
Yeah, Mahoney not usually in that offensive situation, but working directly off that transition. Thought she got hit on the shot, didn't get the whistle she was looking for.
.8:40 remaining in the second quarter. Nice job getting into a lane was none other than number 4, Jane Hansen.
Yeah, clean takeaway right through that passing lane, like you said, Peter. Not something you see too often. Hansen showing off the speed to get in there on that one.
So now trying to set things up is once again Radigan. On the left side, Bolig. And there's going to be another whistle.
Shooting space again right there as Taylor drove in. Those cross-field passes are really finding a lot of success for Northwestern's offense right now, Peter. As soon as they flip the field, Stony Brook's defense looks out of sorts. They're rushing to cover up spots, and it's just not working.
6-3 your score. Lining up at the free position. Once again is Maddie Taylor. Decides to pass out to Kuykendall to reset up the offense. Kuykendall getting pressure. Passes off to Skane. Skane looking as fresh as can be, coming off an injury. Kuykendall thought long range, passed it off and mishandle on the pass to Radigan.
It just missed that one. Radigan was, it looked like it was coming to her clean and just couldn't handle it. Unfortunate turnover for the Wildcats, but right now they've got Stony Brook's offense in a world of hurt. So if the defense can continue working, they'll feel okay about it.
So not much of a ride against Stony Brook on this possession. Northwestern seems content with just letting them try to set up their offense. Tough challenge there. That'll be a whistle. That called against Radigan.
Right now, I mean, this Northwestern defense is looking like a puzzle that Stony Brook is missing a couple pieces to.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not even probing. 26 on the shot clock, Peter.
Yeah. They're just swinging around right now, content with taking a lot of time off the shot. There's the drive. There's the shot. And there's the goal. Ellie Macera again. Going in the air. Ground ball picked up. Who else?
Yeah, that's her 4th draw control of the game. Stony Brook as a team only has 6, Peter. She has done everything for the Seawolves.
So Seawolves, we've talked about, have taken a lot of time off of each and every possession. It's good strategy because, you know, if you continue to take quick shots and don't find the back of the net, Northwestern is more than happy to try to take advantage of that. So limit their shots by just taking a lot of time off the clock. Ooh, strong push from behind. That's going to be a shooting space call again.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Yet again.
And again, Stony Brook just trying to draw these charges against Skane. That's the way they're defending her from the end of the first quarter on. You can see just trying to get in position and take the charge, and that time the call is correct. Again, the defender is not there in time to take the charge, and it's going to give Skane a free position chance. You're playing with fire there for Stony Brook.
There it is. Goal. Who else? Izzy Skane lead back to 3 for the Wildcats.
Because it's not conducive to save percentage success, if you will. Stony Brook is not allowing a lot of shots from outside that are going to be easy saves to make.
Duknowski coming off being the ECC Goalkeeper of the Year and All-Conference first team. So both teams with a transfer goalie who were tops of their respective conferences. Nice little subplot there. Such a hard position. Goalie, and there you go. Showing off for stick work is the aforementioned Duknowski.
Sensational cross-field pass right there from Skane to find Radigan. And Haley Radigan has got to figure out you're not going to beat Duknowski up top. She's stoning everybody up there right now for Northwestern. Radigan gets in close. That shot just has to go down low. And instead, it's an easy save in the end for Duknowski, who has stood her ground today. This could easily be a 10-4 Northwestern, 11-4 Northwestern margin, Peter. She's made some big saves. 5 of them, to be exact.
Yeah. Less than 3:40 remaining in the second quarter. Stony Brook maintains possession after the whistle. Again, Northwestern has not had a pressure ride situation until they cross the 50. A little bit there, but just letting them split.
Well, to be fair, they took 50 seconds off the possession clock.
Sure,
so, you don't have to put high pressure on to deflate that clock. And the way Stony Brook's played offense, that clock runoff could be huge.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to pass it around for 40 seconds before driving it in this time.
Miss Sarah wouldn't be surprised as she has possession there. Under Armour All-American as a senior in 2020. All-County as a junior.
And this time Northwestern sending a lot more bodies at her.
Yeah. Who still gets a shot off, but good save by the Tufts transfer, La Liberty.
And even for a talented goal scorer like her, it's a lot different to get a clean look on goal when you're by yourself. They've been an eyelash away from beating #1 seeds 3 times in the past 5 years, within 3 goals in 3 of those 4 quarterfinal matchups against top seeds. And 2 of those teams went on to win the championship. So they're right there. It's just about finding a way to finally take that next step. And wow, talk about a next step. The step Izzy Skane took on that one was impressive.
Izzy Skane fires it in and gets it all. Double. As Radigan sits near side as Smith and Verhulst once again looking for draw control. In the air, quick pickup by none else than Ellie Macera. Like you said, at some point you just say, put everybody on Macera and make somebody else score a goal. And
again, remember, no Stony Brook player not named Ellie Macera has scored since 44 seconds into the game.
Correct.
Since then, it's been Macera or nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the starkest divides you'll ever see in a first half. We could go 29 minutes and 16 seconds with only Macera scoring a goal for this Stony Brook team.
Well, and something also to mention, we talked about this early on in this season for the Northwestern Wildcats. Who was going to be the rotating 1B to Izzy Skane? Because everybody knew that they called it the Skane slide. Oh, shot! Who else, Noah? Who else? But why not Macera again?
And again, remember, she's only a junior, Peter. She's got at least one more year with this Stony Brook squad. Could stay for another if she so chose. I mean, she is one of the best players in the country, and she's showing why right now, right? I mean, 20 goals so far this year. Peter, she scored 67 last year. I think that number is going to go up this season if what we're seeing is any indication.
As a freshman, made her collegiate debut against North Carolina. What a start. What a test she had in her first ever collegiate game. Had her first hat trick against Hartford as a freshman. So what a fun player to watch.
And this becomes a massive possession for Stony Brook. It looked like you were out of this game a minute ago, right? 8-4, 2 minutes going into halftime. And suddenly Macera scores. You get another draw control. You potentially flip this thing on its head. If you can be down only 2 goals going into halftime, you'd have to call that a major win with the way Northwestern outplayed you for large stretches of this first half.
So last time, Stony Brook tried to take away possession at the end of the quarter. It did not yield an attempt. Let's see if they take advantage of that this time with 25 seconds remaining.
Well, they're man-marking Massera now. White's on her all the way out outside the fan.
There's that double team. Now White's on it. Got to watch for that slide. Goes left, down, on the ground. Still a ground ball. La Liberty comes away with it. Boy, that was close to being Stony Brook within a 2-goal differential. Very
White
close.
got just enough of her from the backside, enough of the stick from the backside to slow that shot down and give La Liberty a chance to save it.
We're underway. Oh, right into the stick. And fouled already. That was a quick whistle.
Yeah, won it right to Maddie Taylor, did Sam Smith right there. Exactly what she wanted to do. One of those strategies Massera uses, by the way. She runs up to the circle right as the draw's about to happen so that she can have a little bit of momentum going forward. That time it didn't matter because Taylor won it so cleanly.
Well, she's one of those players, and I know it sounds cliche, Noah. She is so quick. It's not just fast. It's not speed. It's just the quickness. And she's able to get underneath because of the height advantage she has, being just that skosh shorter to able to get that, you know, that sidearm shot. Kuykendall loses possession.
The Wildcats have had a lot of success, Peter, with those tough passes to the middle. Yeah. On that one, Taylor bit off a little bit more than she could chew. That was not a clean look at all for Kuykendall, trying to emerge between 2 Stony Brook sticks. Probably should have kept that one in the back pocket and passed it around a little bit more.
Looking at the goals, Kuykendall, Smith, Amante with 1 apiece, Skane with the 5-piece, Massera with 4, and Mitchell with 1. To note, Hart has taken 3 shots of her own, just hasn't found the back of the cage.
Yeah. Jane Hansen get called for the foul there. You can see coming right through the back of Hart.
Yeah, that was a legitimate hit.
Yeah, I agree.
Not to mention a little follow-through.
Yeah, going back to Massera, who just passed it off right there. Yeah. It's not just, you know, the quickness. There's quantifiability in that, Peter. They talk about cars going to 0 to 60. She can go 0 to max speed in just about as fast a time as I've ever seen. I mean, she is 2 steps, 3 steps, and into a full sprint like that. It's almost impossible to stop. That quick start is a big part of why she gets by defenders so easily.
Taken away. Good defensive play by Jane Hansen.
Right after getting called for the foul, she goes right back at Hart, and that time takes the ball away. Persistence for Hansen, and I think Kuykendall's hand may have got stepped on there.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
This year, they have scored over 13 goals. 13 against Yale, 17 against Michigan, 19 against San Diego State. Their last year as an independent team, and then 14 against Stanford. So 5 is not something they're used to.
Yeah, and you know, Northwestern's offense gets most of the pub, and rightfully so. This defense has been much better this year.
Yes, it has.
It has been. It's been improved from what people thought it might be coming into this season. And it looks great so far today.
Nice save from point-blank range. I believe the whistle.
Well,
and
both
there's the
referees,
yellow. There's the yellow.
Both referees whistled, and they were coming together to try to decide. And again, that's going to be illegal propulsion there.
Yeah.
This stick on the follow-through.
That was Ellie Hansen.
For Elle Hansen, yeah. And the 3rd yellow now for Northwestern. You can see the big motion from the referee.
Yeah.
Showing that it's on that stick, on that follow-through. And again, when the follow-through is whistled, it's an automatic yellow, Peter. So
Yeah.
it has to be a yellow. It's the 3rd yellow, and Northwestern is getting close to non-releasable territory now. The Wildcats are going to have to be careful here. Not just with this penalty, but going forward.
Yeah, 3 goals is not an insurmountable number when you're one
not
of the
even
top
close.
teams in the nation.
Yeah.
You know, we talk when I was going through some of these scores. You know, I have seen a lot of these teams play so far this year, and not one of them is a slouch. And I don't know how else to necessarily say that Stony Brook has beat quality opponents and put up some, decent numbers. You would expect maybe some bigger numbers, but again, they've kept with every single team, even if they haven't had their best game.
Right.
So my point being, they haven't had their best game against Northwestern, but are still within striking distance.
One thing to note about the women advantage, much harder to man-to-man Massera. You can't do it because you're taking away too much from the rest of your defense. So it gives her a little bit more room to operate.
Pass off Massera. You got to keep your soft focus on her right now. Soft focus is by Carly Mahoney. She's wide open right now. If they get it to her, she could take a few steps. You could see her calling for it. And not to talk about the off-ball action, but it's so important when she is the catalyst for the offense of this team. There she is with the possession. Pass off. There's that lane. She's, push from behind. She was wide open, Noah, if they would have been able to get it to her.
The problem is you have to make the pass, and Hart didn't have the ball yet.
Yeah.
So the issue for Stony Brook right now is as soon as it gets away from Massera, Northwestern's defense is collapsing so quickly. If Halpern was there a second earlier, she would have taken that away. Instead, it ends up being a free position chance for Kaylin Hart. Don't forget, Hart had 10 goals coming into this one.
Yeah. Hart takes it high, ricochet in the air by La Liberty. Massera picks up the pieces, passes off, and shot clock expires. I thought
but that can't be right. The referees are stopping it here because
there wasn't a reset.
Yeah, the ball, it should have absolutely been reset, and that ball did, in fact, come off of La Liberty and off of the crossbar.
Yeah.
Double reset situation. Oh, no, just off La Liberty, pardon me. But either way, that should have been a reset. Certainly a shot on goal, certainly saved by La Liberty. And the shot clock just never reset. And then amidst the chaos, the shot clock expired. But, you know, for Stony Brook, you're expecting a reset. You're not looking at the possession clock.
Yeah.
And so they'll have to take it back and give the ball back to Stony Brook.
So the intriguing part is going to be they should just do a full reset and trying to determine what
well, I think you put about 52 or 51 seconds on the possession clock.
Or 58.
58, okay. Okay, that's fair.
Way off. No, just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Terrible read by me.
So 23 seconds remaining on Stony Brook's man up after the yellow on propulsion. Two of the top 4 teams in the entire nation facing off. And with 10 seconds remaining, let's see if Stony Brook tries to get the lane was there, but good job defensively by Northwestern. They're able to ride out the storm. Outstanding defensive possession by the Wildcats.
So now you have to adjust after getting that 7th defender back in. And they've done so far.
Now with only 15 left. They're looking for Massera. Who's going to take the shot? Somebody needs to do it. Dodge, shot down to the left, and I believe Stony Brook's going to maintain possession. They will. With 2, with 1.
That is a possession clock.
Yes, indeed.
Run out right there. That one's not going to be overturned. Right now, Kaylin Hart and Jane Hampel are just having a tough time. Hampel gets a lane here. That's a relatively clean look for her, and she just misses it wide. That was a goal there for the taking, and Hampel missed the shot. Northwestern is forcing Hampel and Hart to beat them, and right now those two haven't been up to the task.
Yeah.
Nice transition work that time from Sam Smith.
Skane now, top of the arc, handing off to Kuykendall. Kuykendall, let it be noted, has an wrapped right hand right now. So taped up with black tape all up the length from the wrist to the thumb. So that was a significant enough hit, Noah, that she's wrapped up.
Shooting space here, by the way, for Amante to get a very good free position look. But yes, we'll see how that affects Kuykendall's game and her precision going forward. Very interesting to look at.
Amante, left side, went too far. Reset the shot clock, possession, Stony Brook.
Good work on the back end to knock it right back into the circle by the defense of Stony Brook. And for Amante, that is an uncharacteristic miss.
What a beautiful play. I was going to let you finish your statement. But stepping in is Maddie Taylor, all-world freshman right now for the Cats.
8th turnover from Stony Brook. They have to limit these.
Kuykendall, again, she hasn't taken a shot since checking back in and having her hand wrapped up. Nice crisp pass inside. Goal. Chalk it up for 77 Radigan.
I'm sure Lauren will be okay with that.
I'm sure she will. I'm sure she will.
Skane continues to charge up that leaderboard. I mean, she's not far away from number 1, I'll tell you that. Selena Lesota, the program legend.
What a career by Skane. With still a lot of lacrosse left to be played. So 4 goals is your differential now. Stony Brook would love to get the answer back if they can. I just love the surge of Radigan in this lineup. Again, when we were here recently calling Northwestern's game against Boston College, you know, wasn't a name to be said in sight.
Yeah, she was nowhere to be found. She was buried on the end of the bench, and now she's following up a 5-goal performance last weekend. She's not only got the goal, 3 assists today. Her passing has looked so crisp, and that's what you expect from a tenured player like her. And I think you're exactly right with what you posited earlier, Peter. It just took her a second to get comfortable with this new team and this new environment. And once she did, I mean, the talent shows through. The ability shows through. Kelly Amonte-Hiller is so capable of using any capable player within her offense.
It's so hard with players transferring, it, you know, not to say pros or cons of transferring, as that one sails high over the crossbar. But one of the challenges as she's grabbing her head, slowly getting up.
Yeah, that definitely looking for a foul was Morgan Mitchell on that one. She can't believe she didn't get it. Or pardon me, that's not Mitchell. That is Aaron McQuarrie. And all night, these Stony Brook players have been driving to the middle and looking for whistles. They haven't got many of them. There's maybe a little contact from the backside there. I think
way down, maybe.
I think McQuarrie throws herself into that more than anything. It's hard to say that's a bad no call.
The reason I mention the players transferring is it doesn't always work. Sometimes a player does transfer to a respective school in any sport, and it just doesn't work out. Sometimes, hey, it's really successful, and you know you're winning national championships if it all clicks. So
a lottery ticket every time, to be sure.
Turning around, goal. Nice job by Stony Brook, finding the back of the cage. And folks, it's not Ellie Macera. You manage, you know, a goal every 90 seconds or so, and you can come right back. So right now, being 3, definitely an achievable output, especially with Kuykendall. I got a better look at it on one of the last possessions. It's not just the wrist. It's halfway down her forearm. So you take out one of your leaders offensively. We talked about Izzy Skane, her first game back from injury. So many factors right now on the offensive end of things for the Wildcats.
And right now, they got to get back on offense.
Yeah.
Stony Brook has taken the air out of the ball, which I guess you can't really do with a lacrosse ball. But it's still,
you know, theoretically.
It still works.
Or hypothetically. Somthetically. But Morgan Mitchell helping add to the offensive side of things. $18 games last year as a junior with 14 starts, 14 goals as well.
Excellent defense in this possession so far by Berkery on Macera.
Yeah.
She's taking Macera away no matter where she goes.
This is one of the best defensive outputs I've seen Northwestern produce all season, Noah.
Yeah, really impressive. Hard to argue with that, Peter.
And again, it's not against, you know, you and I talked about this, and it happens often within NCAA sports. There's no, we're waiting to see where the whistle goes. Officials are off to the side right now, but running it back. So there's no cupcakes on Northwestern's schedule. Neither is there for Stony Brook. And so you're not getting a 30-0 game against, you know.
I'm not sure what the whistle is here because Maddie Taylor was not fouled. Yeah, but I absolutely agree with you, Peter. Yeah. No cupcakes, no easy wins. But, you know, with Taylor there as Bowlings just slips and falls, that is a giveaway Northwestern couldn't afford. Got to pass that ball.
Yeah.
But Taylor there, I'm not sure why she was called back because she got the ball. There was no foul. She came away with it. And, again, big collision. Refs letting them play. This, wow, that's probably going to be a yellow as Taylor goes sprawling against Kaylin Hart. And Hart indeed looks like she's going off. Yep, Hart to the sideline. That will be the 3rd yellow for Stony Brook. You can see there another slip.
Yeah.
It looked like caused that. And then Hart, that's silly. Just got the head with the shaft of the stick. We've seen how much Northwestern has made out of these woman-up situations so far in this game. It's been a physical one, Peter.
Wow. It's been a fun one.
Oh, for sure. But we have had, I mean, this has been knockdown, drag out lacrosse right here. No clear has been easy.
Yeah, not in the slightest. I'd love to hear the story, too, of how, Coach Amante Hiller found the likes of Madison Taylor. How do you find a player that immediately contributes offensively, defensively, on the ride, in the middle?
It's only the first time Skane's been saved all game.
Yeah.
Point-blank range. How about that stop by Duknowski? I think a lot of it with Taylor, though, is you look for a player in the Lauren Gilbert mode, you don't have to look any further. I mean, the quickness, the first-step speed, it's all there with Taylor. And, of course, her abilities go well beyond that, but that's got to be the first thing you're looking for.
Yeah. So player up for Northwestern.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how long Stony Brook waits. I usually you don't see teams wait beyond 35, 30 seconds to go in this situation because obviously they can't run the whole thing off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they stand around till there's 10 seconds on the possession clock.
Well,
especially this is not a team with any urgency in these situations.
And all I was going to say is, look who's holding the possession right now. That's Ellie Macera, so she could just keep it herself till the clock goes to 1 and then just fire one off. Haven't seen any long-range attempts this evening so far. So Macera does hand it off now at that 30-second mark. So let's see what Stony Brook does now. Back to X. Over to Mitchell. Mitchell to Macera with 20 seconds. Now all the rest of her teammates off ball start rotating.
Look at this. She's by herself with two defenders. You don't see that often, but it worked.
Wow. Ground ball picked up by the Wildcats. Near side. Oh, Stony Brook able to come. And that's going to be another whistle. Stony Brook comes away with it.
Just sloppy by Gillespie right there. She didn't wait long enough to get the ball back, but wow. Jane Hansen, or Elle Hansen, pardon me, pays it right back. Gillespie's got to feel a little bit better, and they're going to call that back to the original whistle as Hansen was fouled as she picked up the ball.
Outstanding turn of events. Watch this here. So falling to the ground. Here's that before what happened. Look at that. My goodness, the field awareness to swipe it away, get it, and then immediately try to get an outlet pass.
Yeah.
Outstanding play.
And again,
by
the
Hansen.
physicality. I mean, Hansen got mugged trying to get out of it on that one.
3-goal lead for Northwestern. Can they add on to it? Man up has expired. It's a good job by the Wildcats. Again, anytime besides the once Stony Brook has had that advantage, they haven't taken advantage of it.
Yeah, and Northwestern has got to stop with these dangerous passes earlier in the possession clock. You got a little bit more time to run here. You don't have to throw these crazy passes in early. As another Northwestern player goes down in the middle of the arc. And a yellow card comes behind the play.
Looks like Amante is very slow to get up. Let's see what happens here.
The whistle went before that, though. Amante got hit hard, but the whistle went before that. Well, I think that was the yellow cardable play because there was the push after the whistle, and that's what they deemed as yellow card worthy. 4th yellow for Stony Brook.
Yeah, that stick just rode up her rib cage. That cannot feel good. So Amante, can she extend the lead to 4?
Yeah, this is the non-releasable card. It's the 4th for Stony Brook, as Amante missed that one.
She went low. You talked about it.
Yeah, I did, but that was not where she wanted to go low, Peter. It was right down the middle. She has not looked herself today. The shot has not quite been on. But for Northwestern, you want to score as quickly as possible because you're going to get to keep the woman up. And Stony Brook, the physical play, starting to haunt them a little bit. That pass to nobody in particular.
That will go to Stony Brook's way. Kuykendall kind of just shrugs like, I wasn't even looking. As we see that nice save down low. And Stony Brook now taking all the time they want. Shot clock is off. 50 seconds remaining. A little bit of a pressure Maddie Taylor on Buknowski.
This game has been played in Stony Brook style. Don't make any bones about it. The Seawolves have played this one to their liking, and that's why they've been able to hang around and stay in it. They've been neutralizing ever since that hot start in the first quarter. This Northwestern's offense efficiency. Northwestern has only scored 4 goals since the 4-minute mark of the first quarter. And again, huge collision in the middle of the field.
Yellow.
For Radigan.
Wow.
And that's non-releasable too. 4 yellows each.
Can't quite.
This is a level of physical that I have not seen all year.
Haley Dillon, watch this as she just gets
the stick right to the midsection.
Yeah, that'll knock the wind out of you. It's an aggressive game.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Stony Brook wants. They're a physical team. They're not afraid to go hit you.
Yep.
And I think for Northwestern, the frustration is the calls have actually gone against them. Northwestern has been called for more fouls than Stony Brook. And I think based on what we've been seeing, Peter, Stony Brook has certainly been the more aggressive and physical team.
Yeah.
And I think that's frustrating this Wildcat coaching staff a little bit. You can see Kelly Montiela with her hands on her head right there. The Wildcats have been called for 18 fouls. Stony Brook's been called for 15. Peter, you still remember those back in the first quarter where Skane was called for what seemed like sort of phantom infractions. And that level of whistle has not come the same way on the other side, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, well, we talked about after a few times of those close calls that they let them play. And now it's to the point they are playing so much that the whistles are coming. Oh, my goodness.
And I think it's safe to say at this point they might have let them play a little bit too much. This game is getting to a point, it's not out of hand, but we're getting to a point where it's a bit crazy.
Shot, down, goal. Izzy Skane answering with less than 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter, finding that 4th goal lead for Northwestern. Look at that stretch pass to Skane. Wow.
Phenomenal pass, and Peter, Izzy Skane doesn't care how physical it is. She's just going to run by you and get the score. Stony Brook completely caught off guard on the transition. They expected to have that last possession. Instead, Northwestern turns it around. Phenomenal downfield pass, like you said, to set Skane up. And she finishes it like only she can, just smooth, clean into the corner. All of a sudden, the Wildcats look to be right back in the driver's seat. That's how big of a shift that one turnover can be, forced by Halpern and turned into a goal by Skane.
6th goal today, 13 seconds remaining. Shot clock is stopped. Northwestern, I hate to say a crucial goal being the 10th goal, but it's that 4-goal differential. It's their largest lead they've had, because every time it was 3, it'd go down to 2, 3 to 2. So it's that little bit of breathing room that they haven't had all night.
And how about this for Skane? Remember, it's only her 5th game of the season because she missed the last 2. She's scoring 6.5 goals per game, Peter.
Pretty good.
She's still got a quarter left in this game to make it, 7 goals per game. I mean, it's ridiculous. Right now, she's on pace to better her own NCAA record for goals per game over the course of a season.
Well, and a huge differential this year as well is that she has the supporting cast to help her. Again, Kuykendall really being a 1B scenario offensively, but got a extension of the stick across her wrist, so taped up. Haven't seen her play much since that happened.
She's been in, but she has not been nearly as involved in the offense, to be sure.
And as the clock expires, so does the third quarter. As Northwestern leads by 4.
Yeah,
it's just a little game we play.
And they did, of course, the year before that, and the offense was electric, and so it's hard not to think about what if, but what we have right now is an offense every bit as electric as the offense last year was.
And defensively, you talked about the adjustments they've made and how they've improved defensively, but don't discredit Stony Brook has held Northwestern to 10 goals through 3, with one coming with 17 seconds remaining. I mean, that's just an outstanding feat in its own right, and we have the woman up advantage.
Yeah, that Stony Brook penalty has been killed off, and now the Seawolves a chance to go on the attack, a woman up. Remember, this penalty is non-releasable, so if Stony Brook scores, Northwestern's Radigan has to stay in the box.
Shocked Massera just didn't take it herself. She was one-on-one for the first time in a long time. There was the double team. You saw the floating defender behind, that being number 29, Mahoney. So Mahoney and White doing a stellar job defensively, only allowing Stony Brook to 6 goals.
Right now, Macera's been taken out of the picture. She didn't score. She didn't even get a shot on goal in the third quarter.
Point blank range. That's what you want to see if you're Stony Brook, bringing it back to within 3.
Stony Brook still 20 seconds of that player advantage, as you can see.
Yeah, exactly. Non-releasable. And I wouldn't be surprised if
that might be another yellow.
I was just going to say. Yes, it is.
Boy. That's
yes,
Taylor.
it is.
That's Taylor, and that's the 5th. So 2 players up for Stony Brook after the draw control win by Macera. You got 13 seconds, 2 players up, and then you got a whole nother minute 47, 1 player up. I mean, wow. And this is an easy call. Taylor just hits her in the head. I mean, it's easy.
Yeah.
And Macera, you know, she makes it clear to the referee that she got hit in the head, but she did get hit in the head.
Yeah, this is no embellishment. That hit her in the back of the skull.
And it's a bit of a first-year move by Taylor, not pulling back and recognizing that it's not the time to force the issue in that regard. Northwestern defending with 5 right now. They're about to get a 6th back, but goodness gracious, what a strain to put on the defense.
Macera thought about it. Circling back to X now. Minute and a half. Let's see what Northwestern can do defensively. Oh, quick pass in. I'm shocked that wasn't another whistle as Mitchell picks it up. 1:25 remaining in the player-up advantage.
Well, Stony Brook has to cash in, Peter. They cannot afford to miss this opportunity and give the ball back to the Northwestern offense.
Oh,
and that's an easy call. Halpern just pushed her in the middle of the park.
She's trying to argue.
I think Halpern is saying, look, it wasn't really like that. You know, I didn't push her like that. And Stony Brook certainly is, I mean, that is embellishment of the highest order. We're seeing some dives in here.
Gillespie.
We're seeing some dives in here that was either Halpern or Mahoney, I think. And we're seeing some dives today, either way, Peter, that would put the Olympians to shame in that particular event. Macera acted like she just got hit by a raging bull on that one.
Nonetheless, Macera dodges down, goal. Another one for Macera. Stony Brook back to within 2.
It's a little bit ridiculous.
Just like that, I believe the whistle went with Macera, and they're letting her continue.
That ball did not look like it got above the heads of the draw control players. Should have been an alternate possession there in my view, but they gave it to Macera and Stony Brook. And now a timeout for the Seawolves.
There you go, Seawolves timeout. So Stony Brook now lining up. I believe 60 seconds will stay on the man-up advantage, and it will.
And I will say, you know, Peter, this has been a Stony Brook team that has weathered some controversy early this year in the Yale game. I don't want to get into that specifically at this stage of the broadcast, but they've weathered controversy. They've fought through a lot this season, we'll say, and some of that was of their own making, to be sure. But this is a team that has a chance to get a really important win right here, and they're driving in to have a chance to do it. Only down 2 with 12 minutes left. They've got a chance to really turn this around and make it happen against the number 3 team in the country.
Swinging around. You have Mitchell to the far right of the 8-meter. Oh, there's the pass in. There's the spin. Ooh, just misses to the bottom left. And that'll stay possession, Stony Brook. Oh, boy, did I see that one coming along. Mitchell was just floating because 2 defenders for Northwestern were so focused on where Macera was going to go. Mitchell was looking for the hat trick. So player-up advantage for 10 more seconds. Can Northwestern weather the storm yet again? Macera cuts in, not able to get the pass off, and we are even for what seemed like an eternity between these 2 teams, as it was 3+ minutes of continuous man-up advantage for Stony Brook.
Wildcat defense continuing to weather that storm. You know, this is a Northwestern team that has faced a lot of adversity in this game. They've battled through a lot of it. And Stony Brook is making this game a drag-out game. They're trying to drag their way to the finish as that one comes off the post. And the Wildcats right now are continuing to make it hard for them.
Yeah.
But that was a near miss for the Seawolves, to be sure.
You know, talking to so many coaches, you know, I said, what's the key about close games? And they said only, you know, nearing the end, they said, Peter, only allowing one shot. Fine, you get your one shot, but the second you miss or it's a save, we need to get possession back because you know, the legs are tired. It's the mental toughness and the ability to get the rebound if it doesn't find the back of the net. Another whistle.
Yeah, this is a Stony Brook team that has faced a lot of criticism this season, Peter, for the physical play and for the flopping. We are not the first people to mention this, right? And you can hear the crowd starting to rebel a little bit against the way that these whistles have gone in this game. But Northwestern going to have to continue to battle through it. There's no other option.
So 20 seconds left. Shot clock didn't reset. Falling, and it looks like they're going to call a propulsion. No. Or is it a shooting space? Shooting space? I believe it's a shooting space.
Yeah, no, they've called the push.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, against Northwestern here. Let's take a look. Sam White playing defense.
She did pull it
there's
back.
There's a little bit of extension on the end there. Let's see how much contact. Yeah, that's the foul, certainly. Yeah. As Massera goes to the ground to try to make that shot. And so Massera's going to get a free possession chance. She scored very easily the last time she had one of these, Peter.
Can Stony Brook come within one? What a thrilling fourth period, and that's going to be a false start.
Wow. Huge mistake by a player who doesn't make many of them.
Yeah. I will say, let's take another look at this. Yep, absolutely, that half step. I will say this, Noah, if it comes down to a one-goal differential, boy, could that be a key talking point in the postgame.
Huge clear by Sam Smith right there. Just clean all the way through, and she was looking for options.
I will say this, after that false start was called, Carly Mahoney kind of swiped the ball out of Massera's stick. And
look, I mean, this game is getting testy, Peter. Yeah. It's clear, right? I mean, we are close to a level of no return because there is some frustration on the field right now.
Lead sits at 2. Northwestern has the full shot clock to use. So let's see if they try to use the advantage of not only shot clock, but the 2-goal advantage. Less than 10 remaining. Kuykendall, we talked about, right wrist aggressively wrapped after being slashed earlier in the contest. Skane, 6 goals, as she maintains possession now. Less than 50 remain. Good defense by Stony Brook. Looking for the pass inside. Pump fakes once, twice, 3 times. Going too far. Who's going to get there? Oh, good job by Hansen. I mean, that was a full sprint, Noah.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent play on the back end by Hansen. Bowling just waited too long on that shot. She had the angle, just faked a little bit too, one time too many. And no shot clock reset makes it even tougher for Northwestern. Got to find Skane to make something happen here.
15 seconds. Got to take a shot. Kuykendall, dodge one. Oh, behind the back, no look. Inside, Izzy Skane, line him up. That might be one of the best sequences you will see all season at the NCAA Division I level. Northwestern extends their lead.
Yeah, the Wildcats needed it bad, Peter, especially with that possession clock winding down, right? It looked like it was going to be another empty possession for the Wildcats, and they turned it around with a beautiful sequence of passing. It's just what this team can do when their backs are against the wall.
So Northwestern comes away with the draw control. They are plenty satisfied with running out another 90 seconds. 8 minutes and change remaining in the contest.
What a massive draw control that was to get for Northwestern. They've been behind the 8 ball in that regard all game long. But Sam Smith wins a huge one, and now the Wildcats can really make this a tough potential comeback for Stony Brook.
Yeah, you talked about it. 14-9, that differential in draw controls. Falling down, and there's the whistle.
No, they did not call the foul initially. They gave that ball to Amonte, being the first to the back line. It sure looked like Radigan got hit in the shooting motion. No whistle, though.
Back to the top of the arc. Skane. Back to Skane. Looks right for Amonte. Thinking about it. Back to Kuykendall. Back to X. Inside. Oh, good. Are they going to call?
Yep, they will call
propulsion?
Amonte, and it's going to be another yellow.
I do feel that one looked like there was follow-through.
Sure.
So we'll see on the replay. We do feel we have to check the replays on these.
Yep, got her. That's a good call. Absolutely. Amonte just a little bit too aggressive right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't do it.
But again, that's good defense by Stony Brook to be so close.
Yeah,
and
Dylan got in there. Yeah, absolutely. Positioned her body right to get the call. And again, a non-releasable penalty. So Stony Brook has the opportunity to score not one, but multiple goals with their control of the draw circle in this situation. But drawing the charge is Aaron Kuykendall. How about that play by number 2 for Northwestern?
Stony Brook not happy, but nonetheless, possession as Kuykendall, wrist taped up and all, will ride this minute and a half out with no questions asked.
Hampel just ran her over right there. I mean, didn't see Kuykendall until it was too late. It's the first foul that's gone against Stony Brook in the past 6 minutes. In that time, Peter, Northwestern has committed 6. And it's those fouls that have added up to give Stony Brook these chances, right? We've seen the yellows give Stony Brook the chances. We've seen the free position chances give Stony Brook the chances. And those whistles going the way of the Seawolves have given them what they've needed to get back into this game, and a crucial one goes the way of Northwestern right there.
Both teams only 1 free position goal each on the day, but 22 fouls for Northwestern to 16 for the Seawolves. So a uncharacteristic game for the Cats.
And that's the 6th yellow against Northwestern, which is the largest they've had. I mean, I can't even remember the last time. I know it's been since 2020 at least.
Dodging in, passing off. Ooh, low shot. Nice save by Duchnowski. Stony Brook comes away with it. They still have half a minute on the player up advantage. Making a fast run, passing it off is Fusco. Pass to the near side. Holding on to it is Mitchell. Mitchell goes back to X. There's the run. Not going there. Fusco looks back to the top. Mitchell to the left side of the fan. Getting the slightest of screen. With 5, with 4, with 3, back to X. Stony Brook gonna play up. That's who you didn't want to be in. Oh, and there's the whistle.
Yeah, shooting space right there. That's just a late slide over by Gillespie. It's an easy call, and it's potentially an easy goal for Ellie Macera. If she can keep from false starting on this one, you have to imagine she'll put it in the back of her net for her sock trick. You can see there Gillespie just late on the rotation. It's an easy call for the official.
So Liberty now taking a second to adjust. What a game this evening. You thought when it was 10-6, if you're a Northwestern fan, you're like, okay, it's 10-6 now. We may have a little bit of advantage. If you're Stony Brook, you're like, hey, we're keeping this in range. And they did.
And it's like we said earlier, Peter, Stony Brook has made this game into what they've wanted to make it. Right? They've controlled the tempo of this game in such a way that it's kept them in it.
Save by La Liberty. Save of the day for Northwestern.
10th save of the game is her best by far. I mean, that is an incredible read, and we had the perfect angle on it. Great work by our broadcast team. To get that look from La Liberty, you can see how pumped up she is.
Now, to where things are going with 4:45.
Yeah, it's again, Molly La Liberty showing why she's such a big-time player. Making plays in huge moments and giving Northwestern, maintaining this 3-goal cushion as the clock ticks down here 4 minutes. And for a team like Stony Brook that is not exactly a quick strike offense, it's going to be a really tough hill to climb back from.
So Northwestern now having possession. Let's see if Mitchell and the Seawolves apply any pressure, as most of the Wildcats sit 5 yards outside of the arc. Crisp passing will be crucial in this possession. If you're Northwestern, if you could find the back of the cage one more time, that could all but seal your victory. But again, if you're Stony Brook, you have given, in a very tough environment, this Northwestern squad everything you had and then some.
Absolutely.
Mishandle on the pass, but luckily for the Cats, they're able to run that down, that being Bolig.
Oh!
Side goal!
Not sure if they're going to count that. It was right as the shot clock was expiring from Hansen. What a pass into the middle from Bolig as it was running down on the possession clock. And Elle Hansen, it looked in real time like she got it off. That was the call as well.
There's the one
on the clock in the background.
Yeah.
It looks like that shot gets in there.
Yep.
And they counted it. A very, very difficult comeback, even in the best possible situation.
Yeah. It was 8-10 at one point with a lot of time left on the clock. It was anybody's game, no.
It was 10-8 with Stony Brook possession, Peter.
Yeah.
And a lot of time left on the clock.
And advantage, and a man up.
Yeah, it really looked like the Seawolves were going to get right back into it. Northwestern defense stoned them a couple times, some huge offensive possessions.
So Lindsay Rongo, want to make sure we get her name called as...
Yeah, she's had some great defensive moments today, Peter. She's been a stalwart inside for Stony Brook, to be clear.
Time is of the essence for Stony Brook. They need to score fast, and they need to score often. Back to X. Far side of the fan. Back to the top to Mitchell. Stony Brook taking a lot of time off the clock to try to find their play. There's the first run. It was a pump fake. No spin. Mitchell goes right. Outstanding defense by Northwestern. My goodness, 30 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Macera long range, but back at X on point with Stony Brook. 25 seconds now, and there is a Northwestern Wildcat player down and holding her head. I believe it could be Amante. Nope, my apologies. It looks like it's Hansen. Picking back up with 20 seconds now remaining.
For Northwestern, just got to hope that there's nothing long term. Not that you'd expect there to be. Gillespie, one of your better defenders. She's had a great game today.
Keeping it herself. Quick pass in, too high. With 8, with 7, with 6. Shot clock will stop with 6 seconds remaining as a player for each team slow to get up.
Yeah, foul on Northwestern there, it looked like.
Slight
Verhulst got clipped on the way in here. Yep. Not a great decision by Halpern to come in there at the end. And you could see knee to the thigh. Never going to feel good.
Oof, nope. That might leave a mark.
Verhulst able to walk it off, though.
Position ready, shot. Oh, just a great camera angle, just an inch left of the left pipe. And with 1:45 remaining, Northwestern going to try to run out the rest of this game.
Again, Molly La Liberty, Peter, has just been phenomenal. I mean, it's as good as it gets. 11 saves now, even though that one was going wide, as I do agree with you. The fact that she gets to stick to it and stop Stony Brook from maintaining possession on the back end is just as important.
Yeah.
It's just a tremendous game, and she's going to be able to ride it out for Northwestern.
And what I was going to say is when you look at the final stat sheet, you see, okay, 12 for Northwestern, 8 for Stony Brook, low-scoring game, 4-goal differential. It was much closer than these numbers are going to make it be perceived.
But again, the Wildcats finishing strong, and that's so important for this team as they look towards the postseason.
So we have a whistle with 38 seconds in the shot clock, 61 seconds in the game clock.
It's going to be a free position look for Skane here. Looked like 3 seconds in the lane was the call.
Northwestern free position.
Is
3 seconds inside the arc, of course. Pardon me.
Thank you. Skane looking for goal number 8, or does she just back it out? She does just back it out. Smart thing to do.
Consummate team player, always. Got to just run it out.
You don't want to chance anything. And the whistle going to be called. Looks like it's going to be against Alexandra Fusco.
Koikendall with a little bit of embellishment on her own there on the back end.
Losing possession, that's going to be on the ground. Stony Brook comes away, and they will get whistled.
Verhulst with a nice takeaway right there on the play from Radigan. She's been all over the field today, Verhulst.
Yeah, offensively, defensively, in the circle. You want to talk about your utility player. Spinning around, short range, swatted down. Ground ball picked up by the Wildcats. And it looks like being able to run it out is going to be Bolig. With 4, with 3, with 2, and a goal as time was expiring. Izzy Skane, why not? Number 8, as time expired in regulation. I didn't even see the stretch pass. It happened so fast, Noah.
Absolutely. Skane wanted to add one more to the tally. She said, why not? I'll get an 8th. I'll pick it up. You can see Koikendall firing an arrow behind the play. And a heck of a win for the Northwestern Wildcats. Led it nearly wire to wire, Peter. Went through some tough moments, had to weather the storm to be sure, but closed it out so strong down the stretch.